I wanted to kind of narrow this down and get a lot of different film series and chuck them all into the one video to make it easier for myself. But actually, if, there are more suggestions down below or I come up with more ideas later, I might make another video. So this could be a continuous series of videos that I randomly do every 16 to 18 months. We're talking about film series I probably will never watch. Love the probably in the title. Really, really dramatic. Ooh, good job, me. So, yeah, there are always films that we as individuals, as consumers, do not want to watch. You've heard of the Human Centipede? Yeah. Love it. Got the 4K set. 3D. No, I don't. There are certain stretches of the human consciousness that I don't want to go down. And even though I've watched Martyrs and I think it's a good film, I don't want to watch Human Centipede. There's enough of a difference. One's more grotesque. Actually, they're both grotesque. Grotesque in two different ways. Hell, look, I watched a whole bunch of torture porn movies last October and made a video about it. And actually, it's not bad, but obviously it's up to the cup of tea of the person. And so these are film series for me that I don't want to watch for certain reasons. Human Centipede is a huge one I don't want to watch. I know there's only 3 of them. It still counts as a series of films because it's more than one, and it doesn't interest me. I know the general idea of each one, and like that the first one was a movie, and then the second one they saw the movie and wanted to remake it but better, and then the third one is they wanted to do it again but in a prison, and it's like I don't see the appeal of even the concept. It's the kind of thing that you should find on a bad subreddit, and that should be it, like a creepypasta. Like, leave it alone. Just I ain't gonna dwell on that. I ain't gonna watch that kind of stuff. Anyway, what's another one? Oh, the Jeepers and the Creepers, aka Jeepers Creepers. This one I have a slight temptation to watch the first film. I don't really want to ever watch them realistically, mostly because of the, was it the creator behind them basically was a sexual pervert and put all of his fantasies into these movies. It's that kind of real life thing where it's like the actual artistic intent, which is very much whether it's an underlining theme, there's at least a surface level indication that, yeah, this very much reflects on the person who's making it. And it doesn't interest me to watch them for that reason. And somehow they keep making new ones. I've got a friend who will just keep sending me, new posters or whatever for new horror films. So, a great way for me to find out that Terrifier 3 is coming out. Love it, 10 out of 10. But I actually do like those films. But, like, the Jeepers Creepers one, he sent me another one the other day. I'm thinking, my God, they're doing another one? Isn't this one the remake that came out 4 years ago, or is this another remake of a remake of a remake? Yeah, I told him, I expressly said I'm never going to watch it based on the fact that the guy who created it is not a good person. And he was like, well, I mean, you could at least watch the first one, realistically, even though it still emphasizes that point of that person's fetishisms. I don't know. I don't want to give a bad name of fetishism. This is like illegal and immoral. Anyway, maybe I should watch the first one just to get an idea of what the series is about, to get an idea what the concept is, and just to maybe enjoy it for a horror film without thinking of the nasty stuff. I don't think I'm going to watch it because it just feels immoral. And if I ever do, it'll be one of those rare occasions where I'm either watching it because someone else I'm with wants to watch it, or someone I know happens to have a physical copy and is like, hey, try it out. I don't know, if you don't like it, don't watch it. At least you're borrowing it, you're not spending your money on it, and then at least you can turn it off if you just don't like it. Because I've bought films where I haven't liked them and I've still watched them and I haven't turned them off because I want to be nice to the fact that I've paid for this shit. Anyway, and of course, to end this trilogy of ideas, we're talking about the Kissing Booth films. Wow, there's a lot of film series franchises that are on Netflix, straight to Netflix kind of films. There's those after films as well, but they don't give me the inclination that they're an atrocity to film history and cinema. Whereas, mostly because I've never seen anything from them, I just know that there's like 16 of them for some goddamn reason. But the Kissing Booth films, my mother actually had a Friday night free and watched I say free, I mean, like, Dad wasn't here, it was, like, out of the game or some shit. And, like, she just put it on. Because she likes Jacob Elordi. He's a good-looking guy. I get it. And so she watched one, and I came out an hour later, still on. Good God. Came out an hour later. Good God, it's still going. What's that? This is the second one? Holy shit. Yeah, she, like, binged them all in one night, because, you know, what else are you going to do if you're falling asleep halfway through most of them anyway? And it's just, like, you get stuck. You just stand there, and you're just watching, you know, drool coming out of your mouth. Not because Jacob's on screen, but because you're just, like, your brain is melting out of your ears while you're watching this kind of stuff. Now, this stuff, these films aren't exactly traumatic films. These aren't exactly revolting, scary horror films or whatever. I mean, unless you interpret them that way. But they're more, of course, in the avenue of kind of a huge waste of time. Uber popular, but a huge waste of time, like most things that go directly to Netflix. So, yeah. That's the third one. I know it's quite a contrast, isn't it? Hey, here's Human Centipede, a very vile collection of films that show the absolute disgraces of humanity put to screen. And then Jeepers Creepers, which is basically the same but subtext. And then The Kissing Booth, where it's just a bad movie, followed by other bad movies. So yeah. Anyway, you know. What are movie series that you hate, that you dislike, that you wish that you had never seen, or that you would not like to see at all? Some of film series I can understand people looking at from a perspective of, these are really dumb and stupid and are an insult to humanity, and I'm not going to watch them for that. But I disagree. Tokyo Drift is a great film. Fast and Furious films, at least half of them are good. You know, there's some film series that obviously have their camp. There are the horror series that people won't like for X, Y reason, whatever. The thing is with these kind of film series is it's like, it doesn't exactly have to be a series of films. It could just be a film in general. There's just a essence to the films that I don't find any enjoyment value in it. You know, like Jeepers Creepers as a film, I might still like. I might be like, wow, this is actually pretty good. It just sucks that the guy who created it happens to be a creep. But it's like saying the same thing about like the early X-Men films, you know, the 2000s ones and whatever. It's like they're still good films. The director might be a creep, but those values aren't reflected within the works of the actual movies. So there's enough distance that way, you know. It's like if the person's a creep and they're putting their stuff through the actual text of the movie, then but if they're not, then it's like, well, look, that person's a creep. Let's just kind of avoid the fact that they're in charge of how everyone acts in this movie and move on and just enjoy the look at all these people with their super speeds and their claws and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of films like that. But then there's also like all these films that get so many sequels that are, again, the Netflix ones, like The Kissing Booth and whatever, that it's just kind of general fodder, as I like to put it. Just movies that are made for general consumption. They're not artistic. There's no, like, actual value outside of, maybe this will do well. It's cheap, like a Blumhouse film. Like, you know, that thing of, like, at least you know what you're getting when you go into it. You know, like a Blumhouse film, you know you're getting jump scares and horror, and it's low budget as shit. And sometimes it's good. Sometimes it ain't good. And it's the same as the Netflix ones, where it's like, they're usually romantic comedies, which gives such a bad name to romantic comedies, because usually the romance is cliche and cheesy and shit, and the characters are boring and annoying and infuriating. And then did I even mention the comedy part of them? I don't think they're very funny, so again, that doesn't really help, and they're usually all American anyway, so that also doesn't help. But then, of course, you can just watch someone react to it on YouTube, and it makes it so much easier. And then people hate watch it because, hey, let's get drunk and watch this film. It'll be funny. And then you just want to just deck the person who's made that suggestion halfway throughout the goddamn movie. So, anyway, let me know any other thoughts that you have about these movies. Let me know if you have a film series that you adamantly will not watch for whatever reason. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts down below. Even if you've seen maybe one or a couple of these films and you're just like, I just don't want to continue to watch the rest of them because they're absolute trash. Let me know down below. I don't know. See you next time. Bye.